I'm not going to answer that question flat out because I don't make those decisions. Absolutely I don't. God and Jesus particularly, is the judge of all mankind. He'll make that decision. We are coming at the Bible in a very different way than first century Jews and Paul and so on. You have a mass of conflicting denominations now. I would say only that we're judged on what we reasonably can know. So let's introduce this excellent point from the 1 Timothy 2:4 text, which says that God wants everybody to be saved, against Calvinism. God wants everyone to be saved. That's absolutely clear. If words have any meaning, that's clear. You don't want to shuffle out of that ignominiously, as Henry Alford said Calvin did. Don't shuffle out of that text ignominiously. God wants everyone to be saved and come to a knowledge of the truth. Patently, many, many trillions of human beings have lived and died without any knowledge of the truth as we understand it. If God wants them all to be saved, he has to give them an opportunity. I would take it in the second resurrection of probation. I'm not a universalist. I don't think, alas, everybody gets saved, because getting resurrected from the lake of fire seems to me an impossibility. So there is a final end to some human beings. So we are judged then according to what we reasonably could know. I know people who have been searching for truth and they eventually come to it. There are others who are not searching at all. When the truth of the one God, as Jesus proclaimed it in Mark 12, is brought to them, then I think they're under judgment. But if they really could not have got to this in any reasonable way, then they're not. So I can't possibly make that sort of salvation demonstration or decision. Why do we always have to say, is this a matter of salvation? What's wrong with improving? What's wrong with doing better? Any truth, as distinct from error, will give you life. The words of Jesus are spirit and life. You need all the truth you can get. You need to get rid of all the error you can get rid of. Let's leave it at that. Let Jesus decide that. I think Paul would be utterly dumbfounded at the Trinity. I think Jesus would be too. Simply could not believe it, because he had, after all, declared the unity of God, the one God the Father, as the most important command of all. That's the center of all true religion. Now, in the commentaries, amazingly, we find people saying this is a Jewish confession. What? Isn't it a Christian confession if it comes from the lips of Christ? This is the real crisis, I think, of theology. We're handing Jesus back to the Jews. That's not right. He was a Jew. His teaching is the foundation of Christianity. If we miss that, we miss the whole point of the New Testament. So I leave that entirely open. If I knew, I wouldn't say, by the way. I don't know. Don't go around saying, well, we know all X's are lost, all so-and-so denomination. Don't do it. It's not helping your cause. Go forth with the truth as you understand it, gently and kindly, and present it and see what comes.
Or to say, we're the true church.
Oh, no.
Like the J-Tup.
No. We don't have, let me add this, we do not have apostles at the level of the 12 today. We do not. Paul did not name his successor apostles. Paul was the last one, apparently, to whom Jesus showed up. You must have seen Jesus quite literally to be an apostle. You must have the accrediting signs and wonders of an apostle. And if you're an apostle at the level of the 12, then you're in charge of the whole church. That is absolutely impossible and impracticable today. It doesn't work. I would avoid the word apostle altogether. You can be a teacher and so on. You can be a church planter, fine, an evangelist. But for goodness sake, don't imagine yourself to be an apostle at the level of the 12. That's simply an inflated ego on a grand scale.